It definitely hindered me when I was going to go off to college and thought I was going to, go play, and realizing that, one, I don't have the grades because the clearinghouse form that set me back. If you're not paying attention to your resources, I didn't have a scholarship. Being in college after my first semester, I didn't realize how expensive college was. And I was like, Pastor, I don't know how I'm gonna afford college. And he told me, well, how about, you ever thought about the Army Reserve? You ever thought about giving it a shot? So we got to see, we got the offer. So went in there, talked, and it helped me out. Gave me money for school, gave me some student loan repayment money. You guys gave me a bonus, be able to put some money in my pocket. And like I said, the rest is history.
Welcome to another edition of Be Great Podcast. Today we have a special guest, a gentleman who has been doing some great work to help the lives of so many. So today I want to introduce my good guy, AT. AT, how you doing, man?
Doing well, man. Thank you for having me.
No doubt, man. I'm glad you to be here. But if you can, tell the people a little about yourself.
Okay. So name is AT Williams, or Albert Williams. I am originally from Rock Hill. A lot of people don't know that I've been in the Army now for 19 years. Currently with the Army, I'm the recruiter, so I'm the Deputy Station Commander of Rock Hill Army Recruiting Station. I'm located right on 2383 Cherry Road, right behind Chick-fil-A. Been doing recruiting now for about 6 years, I would say. In the Army, I've had quite a few jobs. I started out as a combat engineer, where I got the chance to do a lot of demolition, shoot a lot of different weapons, learn how to do different breaches and different tactics in order to take on enemy forces. Did that for a while, switched over to human resources, where I got the opportunity to help set up some amazing projects for the Army Reserve. Was able to actually go to the Pentagon and teach a few classes and stand up some key databases for them as well. And then I got the opportunity to switch everything over and become a recruiter. So it's definitely been a roller coaster ride, but it's definitely not to say a challenge as well. But it's been an amazing journey.
Well, man, that's awesome to hear, man. I know, like I said, you have been in the military as long as I've known you. Now, how long has that been?
19 years.
Wow,
19
great.
years.
So now, was military something that you wanted to do, or is it something how did that come about?
Absolutely not. That was the furthest thing on my mind in high school. Growing up, even in high school, I had three things I wanted to do. I wanted to, go to college, play baseball, and my dreams was to go pro, be a professional baseball player. But things kind of shifted for me, which is actually for the good. Now that I see, I don't regret anything I did. I did go to college. I did play baseball. Of course, I didn't go pro. I'm sitting here with you. But that was my goal. But during my time in high school, I didn't, look into taking advantage of the scholarships. Living up to my true potential of my grades, and it definitely hindered me when I was going to go off to college and thought I was going to, go play, and realizing that, one, I don't have the grades. Because the clearinghouse form that set me back, didn't have the grades to play, and just to be honest, if you're not paying attention to your resources, I didn't have a scholarship money. I knew that being in college after my first semester, I didn't realize how expensive college was. So at that point in time, after that first semester, knowing I'm not going to be able to play baseball for my first year, knowing that I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to really pay for this. I started remembering some things, going back, like some of the Army recruiters that used to come around, or military recruiters, I should say, coming around. And I actually reached out to Pastor Maurice Revelle. He was definitely one of my mentors. And I was like, Pastor, I don't know how I'm going to afford college. And, he told me, well, how about, you ever thought about the Army Reserve? You ever thought about giving it a shot? So I was like, them people, I didn't pay attention to them. I put my head down. They came to the class. When they came my way, I turned the opposite direction. And I said, well, you know what? What else I got to lose? So went up going to, not gonna lie, I actually walked to the Air Force office at first. Walked to the Air Force office, and the guy didn't too much interact with me, didn't kind of give me that warm and fuzzy that I was looking for. And as soon as I walked out of his office, the Army recruiters were there. Never forget them, Sergeant Murphy and Sergeant Crawley. Both were standing there. Same people that I avoided all my years of high school stood right there and was like, "Hey man, you here now? Might as well come see what we got to talk. Got to see what we got to offer." So went in there, talked, and shoot, it helped me out. Gave me money for school. Gave me some student loan repayment money. You guys gave me a bonus, be able to put some money in my pocket. And like I said, the rest is history.
Okay. So if listen to what you're saying, if some like yourself were back in high school and you didn't take the grade side as serious, if you can give someone out there, for the child as well as the parent, what should they be doing to really make sure that they're taking advantage of that opportunity? Because you can't just be only skilled on the field.
Right.
You have to really take your studies serious. So what does that look like?
I take it back to once I got to college. When I got to Claflin. When I got to Claflin, it really dawned on me how they took academics seriously. They enforce you are a student athlete. Those studies come first. Because if you don't have what you need to do within the classroom, you're not going to be able to perform for us out here in the field. And it goes for more than just being that. It's more of like, are you trainable? That's what it shows the coaches. Can they teach you something and you are receptive to it and apply what you learned on the field? If you can't apply what you learned in the classrooms, you can't apply what you cannot give that same feedback and that same motivation and drive that you're going to have those coaches going to give you and place on the field. So for me, I would definitely tell these parents, these students, if you're looking at going to the next level, if you're looking at just how to set yourself above your peers, make sure you're paying attention in class. Make sure you understand that this isn't about just learning what this teacher is telling me. Yeah, you may not apply it to the real world, but if you could take what they're giving you here, then we know that once you get in the real world, whatever that job is giving you, whatever that corporation is giving you to do, then you can apply those same skills, that same drive and work ethic to from here in the schools to that in real life too.
That's good, man. So how was it when I know I want to say it was all pieces and creams when you make that transition into the military? Well, how was that transition for me, when I was 18, of course, they were trying to get me into the military, and I wasn't trying to hear it myself. But knowing what you have shared with me thus far, I wish I would have paid a little bit more closer attention. But how was it once you got into the military? How was that transition for you?
It was it was a challenge initially. Not in a bad way. I see it more as a good challenge because it took me out of my comfort zone. The whole purpose of basic training, which a lot of people don't understand, basic training is 9 weeks and 4 days. And everybody thinks, I don't want to go there, I don't want to get yelled at. They ain't going to do this, put their hands on me. That's really not what it's about. Those drill sergeants are very skilled at what they do, and their whole purpose is to they're gonna yell at you, they're gonna fuss and do this and this and that, but their whole purpose is to break you down so you can expose your weakness. Once they see your weakness, okay, you're not good at speaking. No problem. Guess what? When it's time to do stuff, you're going to speak more. You're going to have a speaking role in this leadership development thing. So you're going to speak more. You may not be the best person who can run. Okay, well, we're going to push you. You're going to do more running. Everything that you could possibly weekend, it exposes it during basic training, and they just build you up. So at that point, once you complete it, you feel like anything is you can able to accomplish. So for me, that was that challenge of just being out of my comfort zone and getting out of my bubble and realizing, hey, I got to be able to talk to this person to my left and to my right. I can't just sit here and just hide amongst in the crowd. I got to be able to be that teammate, that team member, that battle buddy, as we call it, and ensure that everyone is. We gotta rely on each other. We're not gonna be able to get this task or this mission accomplished without one another.
Yeah, that's good, man. Because I think, especially today's time, man, kids, young adults are so used to texting, social skills and things like this. And I know probably going through boot camp and just being exposed to the military brings them out of that shell.
Yes.
And like I said, a young guy, when we went to the school a couple weeks ago, I was very impressed with just his confidence and getting up there and doing a good job. And he said, of course, he wasn't one to speak like that if you'd caught him some years prior.
Right.
And I can imagine just being in this environment really forge you into that place of confidence.
Absolutely, and it goes beyond basic training. Once you get into your job, and you choose. In the Army, we're the only branch that allow you to choose your job off the bat. Every other branch, you might, some may get the opportunity where you get to choose that job. But when it comes to just directly saying, hey, here's everything that you qualify for. Here's a list of jobs along with bonuses and all that good stuff, all those other incentives that come along with it. You choose that job. So whatever job you choose, when you're going through basic, it exposes it, it helps you grow and build into it. But once you actually get into your job as well, and to your individual job, then that is another element where your NCOs, your supervisors, and your team leads will help identify some more of your weaknesses you may have, and continue to groom you to be that leader. Because at the end of the day, like, that's what really we're doing. You are you're a member of a team, as we stated, but you're also a leader within as well.
Wow. So let me hear this. So after basic training, now you get to go out there and pick a line of work. So it's not everybody, because in my mind, when I thought about the Army, any type of military, I thought that you've been taught to become a killing machine. Right. That's what you focus on.
Right.
Get ready. We get you ready for a war.
Right.
And so that's what my thinking was, not to know that, okay, it's other things outside of that. Of course, they want you to be prepared for if combat comes, but that's not the ultimate goal all by itself. So you really focus on a certain skill set within the military. So kind of elaborate, because someone who's naive just think that, hey, they're gonna keep you think that basic.
Right.
What does that? How did that really the process of how that works for you?
Gotcha. So the cool thing about us is that you take the ASVAB, right? That's the first thing. You qualify. We make sure everything's good to go with you. You take the ASVAB, that aptitude test. A lot of people don't. I'll say this as well as ASVAB. A lot of people don't want to take the ASVAB. They think, if I take the ASVAB when I'm in school, I'm automatically signing up for the military. That's not the case. The ASVAB is a good tool. Not only helps us determine what jobs you qualify for, but also helps you as an individual understand that what you may be good at. Because you might, like carpentry, but you didn't realize that you are skilled when it comes to electronics and IT type stuff. Okay. So it helps that, it brings that out you the way you think. So before you sign a contract, before you raise your right hand and swear in, any of that type of stuff, you get to pick your job in the office with one of my recruiters. So we take the ASVAB, we literally spin the computer around to you, show you all the jobs you qualify for. And that ranges from, anything. You could think of paralegal, water purification specialist, petroleum supply specialist, where you're a fueler, mechanic, IT. Like, we got roughly 150 entry-level jobs. And it's funny that you say that, because everybody thinks that everything is combat related, but it's not. We only have roughly 10 jobs that are combat related.
Wow.
Everything else is support.
Okay.
So if you come in and you want to be that nurse, that doctor, that dental hygienist, you have those options. It's a lot of things out there. As long as you qualify for the job, the job is there, and there's availability for training, the job is yours. Okay. You lock it. You do what we call a temporary reservation, where it's held by you. That job is yours. It's all it is contingent upon you going to MEPS and passing the ASVAB. The physical. Once you pass that physical, you sign the contract, and they turn that temporary reservation into a permanent reservation. The job, everything that you had as you sat in the office with us, in black and white, is there for you. Okay. Right off the bat. So it's a lot of opportunities that people just unaware of. We're not just infantrymen and combat engineers and all those other few more tactical jobs, but we have a lot other support element jobs out there.
Okay. is now I want you to elaborate because you gave me some stuff when we was at the Rocky High a couple weeks ago, and you was going down. I was like, man, can I sign up? I was like, shoot, I wish I'd have known all this before. So you gave me some stuff just to know the perks. So this how it can put you in a it actually can catapult your life to 10x almost.
Yep.
And by going through this measure, not saying that you won't want to do things outside of the military, but it's a help you to get to that place that much faster.
Gotcha.
If you can elaborate some of those things, because I mean, you gave me a lot of stuff, like you get this and that and that and that third. So let's talk about it.
So some of the incentives right now that we're offering is we have on both active duty and Army Reserve, that sign-up bonus up to $50,000. So depending on whatever job you choose, the term, the length of your contract, you could land a job that can get you a $50,000 sign-up bonus, as well as up to a $50,000 student loan repayment on the reserve side, or up to $65,000 student loan repayment on the active duty side. Mm-hmm. For our active duty members, we also offer duty station of choice now. So that's about roughly 9 different locations they can go to. Versus when I signed up and other people, even a few years ago, you signed up, your first duty station where the Army needed you to go. Now they're giving you the option to go. You'll know exactly where you're going. So when you're picking your job, of course you're going to know when you're going to basic training, where you're going to basic training, when you're going to job training, where you're going to job training, and then again with the incentives that's there, and then the duty station of choice. How that basically works is they'll have the option there, and you could choose different places from like Italy, Hawaii, Korea, Germany, Louisiana, North Carolina, New York, Colorado, Kentucky, just to name a few places that you can go to. That's your first duty assignment. So you got everything laid out there up front. I know, hey, I got a bonus. And I know my job. I know where I'm going to basic training at. I know when I'm going. And I know exactly when I'm going for my job training. I know, about a rough estimate of when I'm going there as well. And then once I complete everything, I know exactly where I'm going for my first tour. So that alone, is some great things. And then once you kind of get in it to, even further elaborate on what you were saying, you gain those skills. Mm-hmm. So if your ultimate job is, hey, I want to own my own trucking company. Okay, great. Let's get you in on something as far as a transportation specialist or petroleum supply specialist, or something where you can actually obtain your CDL, obtain the knowledge on the logistics behind it, so that while you're doing the job that you stated you want to end up ultimately owning, so you know how to do it from the ground up. And then once you decided, hey, I've done 3 years, or hey, 20 years of this, now I'm getting out. Now I'm taking those same skills that I learned in the Army, applying the civilian side, be able to qualify for a lot of grants and funding that the military provides that people don't know about, because you're a veteran. You get all these different grants and other things that you can use, resources that are out there, and now you have your own trucking company. So it took you from possibly going to a different school and paying to get your CDL. Now the Army's paying you to do the same thing that you was going to pay somebody else to get. That same piece of paper you're going to pay somebody else to get. The Army's paying you to actually get it, plus the skills on top of it. Because we all know that when you got in the real world, that piece of paper ain't going to hold much weight. That job want to know, well, what experience you got to go along with this? Because I can go out here and get this piece of paper. I can even go out here and make this piece of paper if I want to. But show me that prove to me that you can do what this piece of paper says you can do. So being able to, take that experience that you get and then use it and have on-the-job training is amazing. And a lot of people just fail to think about that aspect. Because they think, I'm just going to go to college, I'm going to go to this tech school, I'm going to get this degree, and I'm going to jump into this great paying job. Probably not. That's not the case. But bringing that experience along with it, being a military veteran, because that company is going to hire you off the bat. They know they're getting discipline. They know they're getting, some leadership. And again, it's a tax break to the company. So now you become an asset versus a liability to that company.
Man, that's awesome, man. And I know you can go on some other things that's a reason why a person should consider. But I also want to try to dive into the sides of, now you gave me some of the pros. Do you have anything that you say, man, I'm not saying it's a negative or it's something that we should know about these some of the challenges that you may run across as well.
Right.
So is anything like that that's person just be able to know that, yeah, it's good over here, but these some things you got to look at too.
You're definitely going to run into some challenges as well. It's just like a regular job. You're going to run into some toxic leadership at times where, people may be so set in the old way of thinking, and you come in with new ideas and a way to, make things happen faster, and they don't want that. Nah, we're going to do it this way.
Yeah.
They're stubborn in their ways, and you just got to sit there sometimes. It's like, all right, this is your formation. We're gonna let it ride. We're gonna do it the way you say. You might not be here much longer, so we'll do it the way you say. And then when your time is out, now I come in and rebuild it. You got that. You got the of course, a lot of people don't want to. The thing that people come in, I don't want to do this war. Going to being involved in combat. Now again, you're going to do whatever job you choose, but if you're going to overseas, like when I was in Afghanistan in 2000, when I go to 2009, 2010, I did my job as HR, but I also have, my other job was an actual combat job. So I did go outside the wire. I did go out on those missions in different places like that because I had that combat skills to back it up. Because my other people inside my office, they didn't have that as HR. So we needed someone to go out and make sure people's finances and stuff was straight, to go deliver mail. You might go to these austere environments. I was the one that had to go help them out and do that piece because nobody else had that type of skill behind their belt. So the Army makes sure they do that. They're not just going to throw you out there to the wolves when it comes to that. So going to combat, being separated from your family, for that year, it sucks. Even basic training. And now he's in 4 days, that sucks. Just doing that part initially. So another con, just throw it out there. Just knowing that every 3 to 4 years, or sometimes even less, you're moving. You're gonna get settled in this place, and you're gonna get a set of orders. Say, hey, you're going somewhere else. Now you gotta, you got a family. You gotta take your family. You're moving them somewhere else. Moving your kids out of this comfort zone, they meet their friends, stuff like that, and now they're moved out of this place. So those are definitely some of the cons that people kind of have to consider. Like they're thinking about it. Yeah, it sounds great. It's amazing, but there's some things and some obstacles you have to overcome that. And you got to make sure you have a strong support system when it comes to that. You by yourself, you got to a strong group of friends or parents that's backing you up and supporting you. If you're married, your spouse has got to ensure that he or she is on the same page and they understand this is what we're getting ourselves involved in. We're gonna have to move around. We have to do this. We have to do that, and they got to be able to adjust. Even the kids, y'all got to be able to adjust. And move when dad says he's moving or mom says she's moving. You got to be able to adjust and make those sacrifices because of the profession that you hold.
Yeah, I know you were telling us in the school about just how you and your family, how some good things that it done for you. Kind of elaborate, about your kids and just a little bit about, how it has worked for you, or how it benefits you and your family.
Gotcha. So for my kids, they definitely, depending on different schools they may go to, colleges, schools can be taken care of for them. There's a lot of programs that if you if your parents are veteran or disabled veteran, school can be free or discounted. They give you scholarships for being able to transfer the GI Bill. Now, in my case, I use my GI Bill. That's how I got my degree at Winthrop. But for other people, when they come in, you can use your tuition assistance. That's going to help you pay for school. You can take your GI Bill, which is two totally separate things, and your GI Bill is really, for those people who say, hey, I'm just going to, when I do my few years, I'm going to get out and, go back to college and finish. And what that does is it pays for any school you want to go to, vocational, trade school, public school, whatever, those universities and those colleges, school is paid for. They also give you a stipend in an amount of roughly in this area about $1,400 a month while you're in school, and they're going to pay you $1,000 each year for books and supplies you may have, so that you may need. So what you're able to do for your family is you could transfer, instead of you touching your GI Bill, you could transfer that whole thing to your kids or your spouse, and then they have the same opportunity you would. So instead of you trying to figure out how you're gonna save up and make sure they have this college paid for. You do your years here, transfer it over to them. Now they have that opportunity. You get your degree tuition assistant that does that. Healthcare is huge. Yeah. God forbid you have a sick child and they end up in the hospital, for a month or some change. We all know those doctor's bills are going to skyrocket. Oh, yeah. And you looking at 100,000 plus at times. And just knowing the security of if something were to happen, I'm not worried about healthcare coverage. I'm not worried about that bill coming in later. Mm-hmm. I know that my child is going to get the best care that he or she will need, because TRICARE is going to ensure that. The doctors, they're not just going to put you just in some random place and say, oh, you got to go here. They make sure that they pay attention to, okay, let's look at the doctor's ratings, look at their, their background, and you're going to get seen by the best doctors. And they're going to ensure that, you're taken care of. So just the peace of mind that you have with just knowing that if something happens, they're taken care of. When it comes to medical, and also for me, life insurance. Got a $500,000 life insurance policy. I probably pay less than $4 a month for it. Wow. So, you really won't find that anywhere. You're not gonna find it anywhere. And then my kids got insurance too, so I'm not even have to worry about that. So there's those things that just give me that ease. Like, okay, my kids are taken care of. Something happens to me, they're taken care of. When it's time for them to go to college, they're taken care of. And I don't have to sit here and, save or pull out of some trust fund to ensure that they have college paid for.
So is that for one child? Is that for everybody?
Everybody's listed up under as your dependent.
Wow, that's cool.
Everybody's listed under your dependent. Now, it does, of course, they're going to, they give you 100%. So if you have 2 kids or whatever, you got to split that amongst them, of course. You have one that they get, they get the whole 100%. But if you have, 2 kids, then of course you can, you're going to divide the GI Bill up, for them. But everything else is all, if you got a dependent, don't care how many you got, 1 to freaking 99. They're gonna cover the insurance, the health care, dental, vision, all that stuff.
That's good. That's good. That speaks volume, man. And but if and I know you have a testimony. You talked about the testimony about your daughter who was in the hospital for quite a while. So you can speak for proof that it does work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It definitely, that's real life. Thank God we had the insurance and everything's able to be covered, and not have to worry about the bill. Once that bill was there, you'll see it. Like TRICARE will send it to you, and at the top it says this is not a bill, but they'll show you everything that they paid for. And so you're looking at a bill, or you're looking at a statement for over $100,000, and it says amount provider covered, amount you owe, and that amount you owe is 0.00. That's peace of mind, and and your daughter's good to go. Wow. And back to good health and everything like that. They're able to figure everything out, and that was a blessing.
Man, that's awesome, man. Well, I want to just give you opportunities to share with anything on your heart that you like for people to know about your life, or anything about you want to and share with them about the military. What's something that you live by that you would like to make sure you instill in someone else?
Gotcha. The Army is what I do. It's not what I am. As you see, I'm a regular person. I wear regular clothes. I have regular hobbies. I also have businesses outside of the actual military. So there's a lot that you can do, not only when you're in, but also when you're out. Me still being active duty, a lot of people that see me may not even think, oh, this man, is in the military. But because it's not what you do. You don't eat, sleep, and breathe military. Now, some people do. Some people, take it to that level. But you are who you are. Of course, you go through basic training. It teaches you how to be a soldier. But it doesn't take you from being that individual who you actually are. Is what I do. Is not what I am. So there's a lot of opportunities. I wish there's a lot of things that I share now with the people that I put in, because being able to, it's not about the money. People think that, for every person you put in, you get paid extra. If that was the case, we wouldn't be doing this podcast right now. Because I've been and kidnapped you and put you in that van. So it took you on basic training. But it's not even about that. My biggest thing on this level, because now, I'm at the rank. I'm a Sergeant First Class. I'm E7. So I got a pretty good check that comes in on the 1st and the 15th. But just being able to see the lives that you change, the lives that you can impact, just by showing them and giving them the tools to how to make this military, this Army successful for them, and take what they want to do. Because they come in and some people know exactly what they want to do, and some people don't know what they want to do. And we help them, find a skill and navigate their path and set them up a career plan. And for them to come back and say, Sergeant Williams, this is what I'm doing now, man. I love it. Some people still hit me up. I started recruiting in Louisiana, and some people, find me on Instagram or Facebook, or they have my number and hit me up. Hey, Sergeant Williams, I just want to, just reach out to you and, think you're not going to believe what I got to do or what am I doing now. And just to see them grow from coming in that office to being lost or just being like they don't care about it, and, to see the passion that they have now and seeing that they're able to, take care of themselves or even their family. That's really big for me. So that's where my joy comes from it now. Like I said, I don't get paid no more or less whether people join or not. That check gonna hit the same on the 1st and the 15th. But being able to get that call or that text message to say, hey, Sergeant Williams, I did it. I made it. I'm finished basic training. I just want to thank you for everything you did. So for me, that's really what it is.
What's up, man? So you're not like Major Payne, all right?
Nah, I don't do the yelling. I don't do the screaming. I don't do that.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad that you straight riding with that. When you just being yourself, you're able to show somebody that through this military experience it will help you to dig deeper into accomplishing who you are and get clarity about who, and also help you to get to that destination. Yep. But a lot of us think about it, but sometimes we don't make the necessary steps in that direction. But here, it really kind of helps you to come out of that shell.
Yeah.
So now you can be able to move in that direction clearly. So if someone wanted to connect with you, how can they go about doing so?
So, again, we're located the Armed Forces Center on Cherry Road, 2383 Cherry Road, Rock Hill, South Carolina, 29732. Reaches on my cell phone, 803-315-7593. You can connect with me on Facebook. I believe it's SFC Williams. On Instagram, _Dapper Recruiter. All that kind, all my stuff is out there. But we're here. We're at the recruiting station. Your tax dollars pay for that cell phone, so call me, text me. It's on me. So if you just want to sit down, not saying you got to join, but it's just want to say, hey, let me just get some more information about this. How can I possibly, this is something that I might be thinking about, or, it could be something like this could be a last resort, last ditch effort. But at least have the information so that because you'll be surprised how many people I meet, I met, 1 year, I'm not doing this, ain't gonna be for me. And the next, and 2 years later, here they come in the office, hey, I think I want to sit down and, get some information on this. So if you're unsure what you're going to do, that's not just for high school kids that's about to graduate, because, graduate's coming out. I know mom, dad, y'all ready for them to get out of the house. Hopefully they got a plan. I hope prayerfully the scholarship money is rolling in. But if not, this could be an option to give them something to do or give them additional scholarship money. Or if you're older, we got people to come in now. The Army has expanded the cap where it used to be 33 years old. Now we're taking individuals up to 42 years old. So some people come in our office, it's 35, 36 plus, and it's like, hey, I just want to change the pace. I want to change the scenery. I want to do something different. I always kind of wanted to do it, and I thought my chance was up. Now I'm able to do it. So that's the thing, because the things that we're offering, even with the ASVAB, everybody think, I got to have at least a 31. That's what they tell you. The magic number is 31 on the ASVAB to qualify for jobs. The Army now has lowered that to 16. So if you score between a 16 and a 30, the Army will allow you to come in. You will, of course, you can't pick your job off the bat because at this time you don't really qualify for any jobs. But you'll sign your contract. You'll do what we call an 09 mic course. It is an ASVAB prep course. So for the first 30 days, you're shipping off to either Fort Moore, which is formerly known as Fort Benning, or Fort Jackson. in South Carolina and you are doing an ASVAB prep course. So for the first 30 days, they're teaching you ASVAB. On the 31st day, you retake your test, you get your score, and those people's scores are going up by at least 20, 30 points on average. So now where you would have came in and maybe only qualified for like maybe 2 to 5 jobs, now you're sitting at 35, 40, 50 jobs or more that you're qualifying for. Okay. So, and you can sit down and just like you would do in my office with a recruiter, you pick your job, you pick you got the incentives, you got the the duty section choice, everything that comes along with it, right there. Okay. And then you head on off the basic training. So it's an excellent opportunity. So for both the ones who, the younger ones in college or high school don't know what they're going to do, or for adults who's doing your job and just ready for a change of career.
Yeah. Hey, man, I appreciate you sharing that because, like I said, if I would have gave someone an opportunity to share this information with me, I would have chose a different route. But I definitely know for those who are watching, give yourself an opportunity to hear this and really allow it to resonate and look at it as being maybe there's an option for you, because you never know how far it can take you if you get on board with this. So, man, I want to appreciate you taking the time to share, and I'm glad you had the passion and doing all you can to reach back to help someone else along the journey. So that's what we're about here. We're about not only us being successful, but living a life of significance, which is to help others along the way. And so we thank you for taking time to watch this episode. Stay in tune because we got more in store for you. Be great.